Alright, hello, hello. Sorry for the abrupt cut, but as you know, if you pause on a dialog box that, and you don't have auto scroll going, then the cutscene essentially pauses, and we don't lose any of the cutscene. So that's really, really useful to know when recording in a game where you can't go back how it was. Basically, Hullbreaker Hard Mode is going to be a sexy level 60 dungeon that Maelstrom wants to train by fighting the Warrior of Light and his comrades. Some friendly sparring, I guess. Has some pretty unique mechanics inside of it. Not everything is new, but there's at least a few things that haven't been seen in the game up to this point in Hullbreaker Hard Mode, so it's definitely worthwhile. Plus, the first boss is well, I won't spoil it. I'll wait till we actually get in there, but Now, the other dungeon I was thinking of, I couldn't remember. It's like, did I already do it? Or... No, I didn't do it. Okay. Let's see. Go to Aleport. The other dungeon I'm thinking of is Pharaoh's Sirius Hard Mode. But I believe we have some quests that I never bothered to do after Pharaoh's Sirius was over with, because they just have side NPCs that are largely unimportant to the plot. Although now that I think of it, Pharaoh's Sirius Hard Mode might unlock in Limsa itself, but I believe we have to do these quests in order to do that, so... Let me check up on you, Dark Mind. What have they done to you? Okay. You're more or less the same as you used to be, except better. That's cool. Yep, I sure did kill her. Oh. If you're wondering what this has to do with Pharaoh Sirius, the very first boss is either her brother or father. So that's what that's about. And it won't be the last time they integrate a quest NPC into a dungeon. NPCs outside of a dungeon, into a quest chain or quest, relation. But it's kind of odd because you do the dungeon before you know. Like, you know, his dying words when you kill the first boss is, Diamanda, finally home, or whatever, you know. Or I'm sorry, or something like that. Now, we did that, and because it was a prerequisite quest. That's why it had a blue plus mark. So we go to the Aft Castle now. And I think it'll be Rasat Riki that has the unlock for Pharaoh Sirius hard mode. But the gist of it is, the kobolds tunneled in to the lighthouse from underground, and they are taking over the lighthouse, and obviously we don't want them to because we still need to fix it, and so that we can use it. Let's see, is it you? Okay, I guess it's actually track rate or trach rate or whatever. Of course, of course. So it's kind of interesting. You got to go to the Limsa Lominson airship landing in order to unlock Pharaoh Sirius hard mode. I knew I was missing some dungeons for the 60 plateau because, you know, they just... There's almost as many at the 60 plateau as there are at the 50 plateau, because they were still giving us... At the start of Heavensward, they were giving us 3 dungeons every patch, and then I think almost immediately, either in 3.1 or 3.2, they cut it down to 2 dungeons per major patch, and said that they wouldn't be making, you know, as many because they didn't have as much of a development team anymore since the game was branded a success. Corporate slimmed down the team, you know. I've said this before, I'm sure. But, So we're going to go through the tower in reverse. It's about all you could do to go through a tower a second time in a different way. From the top down, baby. But yeah, so there were a lot of dungeons still at the 60 plateau. And then starting in Stormblood, there are a lot less dungeons, because there's still the 5 leveling dungeons, you know, 61, 63, 65, 67, 69. And then there's 3 level 70 dungeons that, you know, were there right at the start of the expansion. You know, the expansion capstone dungeon, and then the 2 high-level dungeons for tome running and expert roulette and stuff. But after that, they only started giving us 1 dungeon every other major patch. So we got a dungeon called the Drowned City of Scala, and then after that we got a dungeon called I think it was... I want to say it was the Swallow's Compass, which was actually in a side quest, so it wasn't even part of the main story. Although prerequisite quests for the Swallow's Compass side quests were linked to the main story. No, I guess it wouldn't have been Swallow's Compass. It would have been Hell's Lid. It would have been yeah, Hell's Lid. I think it's called. I might be misremembering the name, but it's basically a volcano. Then came Swallow's Compass. Then a dungeon called the Burn. And then the Gimlet Dark. And that was literally all the dungeons we got in Stormblood. right? And, you know, that's what, like 10, maybe 12, 11 or 12 dungeons or something like that? Like, you know, just so many less dungeons. And another thing that's really upsetting about there being less dungeons is that the expert roulette, you know, it's always one dungeon or the other, because it's only 2 dungeons now. And I mean, we're not going to unlock expert roulette for a long time because it's at level 80, but hello again, Mrs. Weenie. My dog's back. Her name's actually Mary Jane, but I call her Mrs. Weenie a lot. Entrance to the Antitower, huh? Who do you think? Whatever it takes to find Minfilia, huh? Magicless rogue, too, if you like. Why would Matoya tell him to go if she knew his condition just by looking at him? Don't you mean 4 scions? Kryl counts too, you know. Okay, well, now we can queue for whatever dungeon we want. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and queue for the Antitower and see if we get in right away. Oh, we did. How about that? Because it's got a main story beat that's really important behind it, and there's definitely enough time to get through it, so, and it's a pretty cool dungeon, so it'll be the last thing I do in this video, because the cutscenes afterwards are decently long. The Antitower. Now, how many ways could you go through a tower, like I was saying about Pharaoh Sirius, right? You could go from the top to the bottom, or the bottom to the top, and this dungeon, this tower, is upside down. It's an upside down tower. So you're going from the top to the bottom. But it's upside down. So I like the music in here. I'm gonna save my AoE off globals for the next pull, because these things are very low HP. And we're allowed the full power of our gear in here, or make things easier, and as a result, like most other things, Could have sworn more monsters are supposed to pop out. Looks like we got a Bara party. I'm the smallest guy in here. Like a copy, it's like the flamethrower from the second boss in Keeper of the Lake, except it's music. If you get hit by its AoEs, you get damage down stacks as well. Oh no, I've been turned into a frog. Whoa. To turn you back from frogs, they're supposed to kill the ads. But there's also a timer, as you can see, so not really that important. Woo, we're flying. Whoa. Guess we're going down to the Ethereal Sea. It's a very pretty dungeon. That's one way to seal a tower. The bridges will be made of furniture floating in the air. Floating in the ether. Gosh. Save our MP so that we can have it for the boss. Ziggy. Where hearts leap, huh? Ziggy Stardust. Oh, that's right. This dungeon came out shortly around the time that David Bowie passed away, and this is sort of like a real quick, you know, edit of names or whatever to sort of honor him. The fact that he had died. Now we're running along the ceiling. See the chandeliers? Of upside down statues. Looks like upside down statues of centaurs. That's why the pull took a little while to die. Ooh, that's a lot of telegraph. We still got more statues that can fall to kill. I like this room. I like this whole shtick of the upside down statues falling. The upper reaches, huh? Even though we're going lower and lower into towards the ethereal sea. Final Fantasy IV reference. Kind of creepy, huh? The original Final Fantasy IV, if you could actually kill every single Kalka and Brina doll, they wouldn't get the chance to fuse. But in Final Fantasy XIV, That's just the first phase. The targeted gaze! It does brace, attacking from the front. If you attack it too much from the back and sides, not only will you not deal damage to it, you will charge up its special techniques. That's one way to make sure that the healer and tank are DPS. Block the DPS into being dull. Tank. Creepy looking, huh? Charlians sure did have a strange method for... No. Bad girl. No. No. It's eating up my comforter. She's still pretty young dog, so she's like teething and stuff. Aw, no comms. I guess either they left so fast they didn't care to give them, or they... just didn't give them.
Hear, feel, think.
Your voice sounds different.
Through time and space hast thou journeyed unto me, as I knew thou wouldst. We are the word of the Mother. We, who were once called Minfilia.
Nice to see that you got your hair did.
Much time hath passed for thee since the bloody banquet, since I hearkened to her word. Mother, Hydaelyn guided me towards Y'shtola and Thancred, that I might be swept up in their flow and delivered unto the ethereal sea.
Yep, we surmised as much.
There, adrift and alone, her voice silent once more, I prayed for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. To her I would make an offering. We speak now with one voice, one will, one word. Unto thee we bequeath the most precious of gifts, the truth which lieth at the heart of this world.
But is
Thus
it...
do we beseech thee once more. Hear, feel, think.
But is it the truth, or is it the truth? Excuse me. Ah.
Before there was life, in the depths of the ethereal sea, light and dark did once dwell as one. But the darkness coveted power, and the balance was broken. Thus was I forced to banish him unto the distant heavens, to forever remain apart, a moon bound. In sundering the star did we cry out, and the barriers twixt planes chanced to falter. Across 10 and 3 were we then divided, reflections of the source, each possessed of a shard. Zodiac longeth to be made whole. For his restoration, for his resurrection, his servants labor without cease. They seek to tear down the barriers which surround the source. Thus do they rejoice in their ardor, in your calamities, for each marks a rejoining.
So they've succeeded 7 times? Man, you've done a really lousy job at choosing champions.
7 times have they succeeded. 7 times hath the darkness grown stronger. 7 times have I failed. The Ascians cannot be suffered to continue. This is my final. The crystal's power is all but spent. With what remains, I will return you to the shore of the ethereal sea. Blessed children, go forth and seek. Seek.
Thank the 12! Did you find her? Did you find Minfilia?
Yeah, sorta. God ate her, basically.
The word of the mother? I'm not sure I understand.
Nor am I. Cryo? As unbelievable as it sounds, I see no reason to doubt her. The word's tale. No one was more sensitive to the will of Hydaelyn than Minfilia. And if Hydaelyn has grown so weak that she can barely make herself heard, it is not hard to see why Minfilia, having joined with her, might struggle to maintain her own form.
Why would she need to maintain her own form? Are you saying she's gone? But that cannot be! Not now. Not after all we have accomplished. We were meant to usher in the dawn's light together.
What, you mean with her returning to being, you know, doing all the paperwork and sitting on her butt? 'Cause that's what she did for the entirety of
She threw herself
Reborn.
on the fire to fuel your dawn's light, boy. You'll just have to usher it in on your own.
Oh, she'll be there to help
Must you
in
be
spirit.
so ungentle?
Tell me about the Scions, boy.
The scions of the Seventh Dawn lay before Eorzea's salvation. Whenever the realm is threatened, be it by Primal, Ascian, Garlean, or any other, we take up arms in her defense, that all in Eorzea may live to see a brighter tomorrow.
And that's very noble of you. But in chasing after these lofty goals of yours, you seem to have lost sight of some basic truths. To win a war, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. To fight, to kill, and if necessary, to die. The path you've chosen is paved with the dead. Walk it with your eyes open, or not at all.
I know the truth of which you speak, and have from the first. If the Ascians will go to any length to resurrect their god, then we must needs be as committed to our cause, to unmask them and their schemes, and to crush them both utterly. Come, there is much to be done.
Yes, of course.
Thancred, wait! No, this is all wrong.
Well. Quite the turn of events. But most of the player base were happy when Minfilia was sort of banished away from constantly being someone you had to talk to, that, you know, basically was like an interaction node for quest advancement rather than a character. At least now she has some real depth. And it'll get better for her as the game goes too, despite the fact that she won't be, you know, a regular plot occurrence for quite a while. But that's all I got time for today, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe and have a good day.